What's going on, everybody? MVP Collectables, and today we have a review of the Poison Ivy premium format figure exclusive by SideShow Collectables. We will begin here with this really damn cool, awesome art box. This is an awesome art box here that she comes in. Of course, this is the front. It says Poison Ivy up at the top. Move my knife. The side, the back, and the top. We'll just say Poison Ivy. Really cool art box for a really great, awesome statue. But of course, guys, if you guys were here for the art box, why do we collect, right? You're not here for the art box. You guys are here for that. And that, of course, is the Poison Ivy premium format figure by SideShow Collectables. Now, I moved the camera back so you guys could see her, or could see the art box more. Now, I will move the camera. Ooh, that's too close, sorry. Back so you guys can see her. I do apologize for the light. I do realize now it's kind of strange. But you guys will see here in all her details. Do not worry about that. I will quickly go over my general impressions, and she is awesome. Okay, she's got some issues. The biggest issue that she's got two issues in my mind. The first and the bigger issue is her finger here is supposed to line up perfectly with the plant. It doesn't. I think I could force it to. I tried that, and I might try it again, but I don't want to force it. Like, I could kind of force it. I don't want to let you know, because the finger might break. So that's a slight issue. Another slight issue is that she's got two tiny, so tiny I highly doubt the camera will be able to pick it up, black dots on her back. They're very small. They are noticeable, not from a distance at all. You actually kind of have to look for them. Kind of. If you just glance her over real fast, you'll miss them. Okay. But they are there. So that's a tiny quality control issue. Nothing worth contacting SideShow over, of course. No, they'd have to replace the whole body. Oh my God, that tiny little black dots. But it is slightly an issue. But apart from that, guys, she is fantastic. Great detail. Really good paint. The paint isn't amazing. Great sculpt. Sculpt's not amazing. But she is one of my, she jumps to the top of my favorite PFs. True, whenever you get a new statue, you're like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then a couple weeks later, you pull back. But I think she's awesome. Red Sonja level, no. Zatanna level, yes. I think her and Zatanna, or she might have the edge just a little bit. But we won't get into comparing those two specifically because we're here for her. Of course, I will give you guys close-ups here in a minute. Go over every inch of this thing very closely. You guys can see all the detail. There's a lot of detail. Now, the difference between there is definitely differences between the prototype and the production, which is what this is. They are slightly noticeable. Her face isn't as good. It's not as drastic as the Wonder Woman, but it's definitely not as good. The prototype was a little bit more subtle it was I believe less tan or dark. Again, you guys can't really tell from here, but oh man, that light reflecting is killing the back, isn't it? I'm sorry, guys. But I mean, and then also the sculpt, at least in her abdomen section, isn't as good. The paint's not quite as sharp as the prototype. Then again, SideShow very rarely is as sharp as the prototype. They're not Prime 1 when it comes to almost for surely matching, not getting better than the prototype they have. Mostly, I don't know this for a fact, so don't call me out if I'm wrong about this, but the prototypes may come from the factories that Prime 1 makes. So they might make the prototype and then go, okay, now make the exact same thing you just made. Whereas SideShow has the best, greatest artists for this type of industry in their headquarters in Thousand Oaks, California. Sorry, I just had to look at the box. But then they go overseas. They send the prototype, or they don't. I don't think they actually send the prototypes overseas. They might, but I mean, they'd send them all the digital stuff, and then the factories go, okay, we can probably do that, but not at the same level. That's at least what I think happens, but who knows? Back to her. She's awesome. Now, we will go, hold on, just over this thing inch by inch. Okay, so we will now start at the base. Nice little rocks here, and you guys can kind of notice that part of the rocks have like this pinkish tint to them. You guys can kind of see that. It's better in person, but they kind of have this pinkish coloring. I mean, it doesn't really show up as pink on the camera, but you guys can see it's kind of a different coloring. Moving up from that, you get into these vines, and these vines are very well done. Getting into the texture there, look at that, that's awesome. Well done on the paint there, SideShow. That's fantastic. Sorry, I've got to set that down. Okay. I don't know if that's supposed to be there, but do you guys see that? That thing right there? That little, like, blip? I don't know if that's supposed to be there, whatever. I don't really care about that. But the vines here, not the vines, but the plant roots, I guess. That's what, yeah, plant roots is awesome. Even the different shading on the other side of that, look at that, that's really cool. The purplish tinge, the camera's doing a great job picking that up. I'm just gonna go all the way around here. That section's probably the coolest. The different vines, the different everything, really cool. I will then go up the flowers here. So, starting down here, working your way up the outside of the flowers, the really cool texture and paint work in there. That's pretty cool. Then move slowly on up. And just the texture in there and there, just the different, just the detail is awesome. You guys can, there we go, you guys can see it now. It's just awesome. Slowly on up to the tip there. Now, not all of them are exactly the same. Not all of these flowers are exactly the same. Each is a little bit different. This one, for example, bends more here than this one does. But it is pretty. They are pretty similar. But I do like that they aren't exactly similar. Now we're gonna get into the fact. We'll just do this right now so I can get out of the way. Okay, so you guys can see that there. Her fingers are supposed to be on it, like in the middle of it, and you guys can clearly see it's not. So, whatever, not the biggest deal. I guess that's probably very hard to do, to get to be able to do that perfectly. It's fine. She is technically touching it. Is it somewhat of an issue? Yes. Big issue? No. But now I will attempt. It's kind of hard because of her being there. To go over the inside. So here's the inside. I can't do a different angle just because of the fact that she's there. The camera might not be able to pick it up, but there is some black specks in there. I don't know if that can come out. I'll try to hit it with a duster in a second, or when I'm done with this. But now just going up. Great detail, and I really like the paint. I didn't mention it. So that right there is kind of like a green, and then it goes out to yellow, and then orange, and then it ends with like a purplish red. It's subtle, but it's there, and it's really cool. Okay, so I won't show you any of the other insides just because I don't want to have this video be 9 hours long. Now, I will show you guys her foot. Good, pretty good. The vines that her feet are wrapped in. Now, she is not exactly straight up. I'll show you guys over here too. Different vines her feet are wrapped in. And then I'll show you guys her back here. There we go. Her back foot. And now that's a nice, so you guys can see there how that's pretty dark. That's a nice, now I don't know how much of that is shadow and how much of that is paint. I do know it's supposed to be darker and it is. I don't know how much. Of course, I could take her off and find out. I'm not going to do that. That would be silly. But for future reference, anyone who did watch my unboxing of this piece knows what you got to do. You got to put these things in first. Sorry. You got to put these things in first and then her. Because I put these things in first too. I couldn't get her on. I took her out. Oh, I took these things off, put her in, that didn't work because I couldn't get these on. Whatever, just watch my review, or my unboxing, and you'll know what's going on. Okay, so that's the base. It's a long base tour, I do apologize for that. We will now get into her. Start down here by her foot, the vines going up. So I can't get a great angle because of the plant that's next to it. And her toe. Her big toe, it's a better angle from right here. Maybe. Her big toe is barely touching. You guys can see it, there we go. Barely touching the plant. So now it's slowly going up. Great paint. Okay, good. It's really good paint. It's not great. But they did do a great job of shading. She's not just one color, as I hope you guys can see there. She's not just one color. She's several different colors, especially like around her joints, her knees there. You guys can see that. Yeah. Let's wait for the light. Was the light not coming? Okay, I guess the light can't come from down there. But now, flip her around. Now we'll do the back. Fantastic. Good paint. Really good paint. Great job in the vines. Vine there on her leg. Right there. You guys can see that. Just fantastic. Now I will go for back. Great shading. Now this is when you get into the somewhat controversial part about this piece, and that's the back muscles, I guess. Now, something that's really cool here, though, is that section right there. It's like she's doing like a slight crunch, you know? Like, because the way that they have her pose is she's supposed to have her her abdomen and stomach pushed out. And when you do that, that part of your back actually goes in slightly. So I do really, really like that they did put that in there. Now, something that's a little bit annoying is that the shading here isn't, it's a little bit too much. The shading on her overall is a little bit too much. Not as bad as the Wonder Woman, not as bad as the Thor Breaker Brimstone or whatever. I don't have that piece, but I've heard. Now, okay, so now her back, and now this is when the sculpt is awesome. Again, I apologize for the light. The camera keeps having to adjust. I do apologize for that. But just awesome. The sculpt on her back and her abdomen especially is awesome. You guys can really, really see the shading there. Back of her neck. Oh, there we go. Okay. Great detail, good. That's when the paint is great. It's not perfect because it's a little bit too shaded. But now we'll go down her arms. Now, another people were complaining that she's too buff. Why? I mean, she's not. I mean, I'll get that arm coming back, but I'll give you this arm. I mean, that's not too buff. I mean, she's not she's not strong, but she's not weak. A little bit too buff, yeah, sure, you can say that. Back of her neck and her shoulders here. Well done. Well done. Now we'll do this arm, shoulder, arm. Pretty good shading, not great. Again, they do extra shading on the joints. Oh, there's another quality control tiny little thing. Don't think you'll be able to tell though. No, camera can't even pick it up. It's kind of annoying though. But oh well. And into the hand that doesn't quite fit. Overall, she's pretty good. Her fingernails, as you guys can clearly see, is a different color green. Wow, you guys can really see that. I wish they would have done something maybe a little different on that, but oh well. Okay. Now we'll go into this abdomen section. Great. Now this is great paint work, great shading, and the sculpt here with her abs. I don't know if that's sculpt or I don't know if that's really paint. I think it's mostly paint, but you guys can see it right there. Pretty good. Okay, what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to take off her head because her hair covers up a lot. It is a very strong magnet. So now, the chest. Well done. And her neckline. There's not any shading in there at all. None in her chest until it goes to her shoulders. Then you guys can see that. Then it kind of switches colors, which, you know, I mean, I don't mind that, but if they're going to keep it like that, keep it to the joints. You know what I mean? Like, and then, I don't know how much I showed of his hand, but there's the swap out hand. Like that. Okay. Now, since I have her head off, I can show you guys detail of her back. Yeah, okay, you do that, and then you zoom out, and it's, oh, wow. The camera's doing a great job picking that up, too. Very muscular. Too much? Yes, a little bit. Not overly, but she is probably just as muscular as Wonder Woman, which isn't right, you know, because Poison Ivy isn't fucking Wonder Woman. Now, I will show you guys close-ups of her heads. We will, of course, begin with the regular. And this is really what got a lot of people turned on to this piece, is this head sculpt. Now, it's not as good as the prototype. It's close to not being nearly as good, but it's still pretty good. In certain lights, it's better. I don't know how this camera's going to do picking it up. Okay, it's doing a pretty good job. Sorry, Stuart. Okay, there's some paint flecks, chips on her that is kind of going to start to bug me. Because they're tiny, but they're definitely there. So there you guys go. Her hair. Just trying to figure out how to hold it so that. There we go. Pretty cool. Her hair there. Now this piece is not an exclusive or bust by all, because her regular head is much better than her exclusive. But there's a lot of shading on the regular head, especially around the jawline. There's not as much shading on her exclusive head. And this is supposed to be the angry portrait, but she's really not looking angry. The only difference is that her hair is wild, but she's smiling. So that's why I'm kind of confused. I'm sorry, guys. I'm terrible at figuring out which way is which on this thing. There we go. Trying to get level. Pretty damn good detail. The hair. She's got a lot of green in it. Green ivy. And of course, it's a lot bigger. So now, let's snap this head on. Very strong magnet. And you guys can't see that. Sorry. I keep forgetting that shit. There we go. Now it's better without that light. So here's the exclusive portrait on her. Once around. Now something that I do like is it does change the statue quite a bit, which is something I do really like. I love exclusives that really change the statue. And this one changes the statue quite a lot. It changes her demeanor. It changes a lot about her. Again, I probably won't display this portrait that often. But I always go for the exclusive because I always buy shit through SideShow. I bought 2 statues not through SideShow, one from a fellow collector, the other from Pioson Studios. Direct, that's logo. Don't get me started on him, I could go all day on how amazing that piece will be. But yeah, this is of course the exclusive on her right now. You can just, again, very strong magnet. So that's good and bad depending on which way you look at it. But I keep feeling like I'm going to almost lift her up. It's not that strong where I will end up lifting the her off. It is pretty strong. Another thing to be careful of is I don't know if you guys heard that, putting this head on, her hair, this section here for hair, this section of her hair will scrape when the head snaps into place. So just be kind of cautious of that. Just side note, I do have number 42 out of 800 exclusives worldwide. So that's a nice low edition number. Some tiny quality control issues, a couple of paint flecks, a couple dots on her back. I don't know if this is if this is a quality. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna attempt it. Okay. Okay. So as you guys may have just seen or may not have seen, I didn't just attempt. I lifted the arm up slightly, pushed it in, or on top of this. It went on, but then it immediately came back to where it is right now. So I'm not going to try it anymore. It's fine. I don't really mind. It's slightly annoying that it's not exactly what they advertised, but who fucking cares? I don't really. She's an awesome statue, guys. Make sure to check her out. I'm going to do two last things. One, I'm going to measure her dimensions, width, depth, whatever. I'm then going to put her in my display where she will be, and I will show you guys quickly that display. So first things first. Where did my tape measure go? I will be right back with the tape measure, guys. Stay tuned. Okay, and we're back. Sorry, I had to go grab my tape measure, or a tape measure. I guess we have several. Okay, now it's advertised that she's 22 inches. And she looks to be even more than 22 inches. It's hard to get an exact measurement because of how far in on her base she is. I'd say she's just under 22 and a half. Like, barely. God damn it, that's a strong magnet. Okay, I don't like them that strong. Because that's one of the strongest magnets I've ever seen. I'm just seeing it for this head makes it any taller. Yes, it does just slightly 20. I'd say 20. I'd say 22 and a half. Just a tiny. I think this one's just a tiny bit taller. Now depth. See how would. Well, it's the same all around. So width and depth, I guess, is the same thing maybe on this piece. Because it is kind of the same all around. Okay, we're looking at it's really hard to tell. 11, slightly over 11 or 11. So a very small. Yep, and this one's just under 10. So the depth is 11. The width is just under 10, I guess. It's kind of hard because, I mean, she's forward this way, so this would be the depth, this would be the width. So, yeah, so the width is just under 10, the depth is just under 11. Stay tuned, guys. I will now be putting her in my display. Okay, and here she is in my display. Sorry for the terrible lighting. I'm working on I'm going to get lights dropped in these things. But she's in my Batman row gallery, I guess you'd call it. You have Joker back there, Holy Quinn. Then you have my new Poison Ivy premium format. Next to her is Huntress, my Wonder Woman, my Power Girl, my Zatanna, and then of course the one and the only Deathstroke. But you guys don't need a room tour. I will be doing one of those, but it will be very boring because I only really have one display, kind of. But that'll be down the road, probably soon actually. It'll be whenever I'm not getting a lot of shit in. I'll do a random room tour because I did just move. But she is in my display as I promised. She is awesome. Again, I apologize for the light. She moves into my definitely top 5 PFs. No question about that. Definitely my top 5. Maybe top 3. I'm gonna have to think about it. But this has been an MVP Collectables review of the Poison Ivy premium format figure exclusive by SideShow Collectables. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that good shit. Ask me questions. My next statue is going to be the Green Arrow PF. After that, it'll be the new 52 ones, Lobo, Catwoman. I'm getting Catwoman and Storefire, my only premium formats left on order. I think. Oh, and then Green Arrow. So, yeah, guys, please like, share, subscribe. Skull Vikings, and until my next video.